Oh, y'all. Well, y'all, they say Clive Davidson damn died. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know if he was a good or a bad guy, but what I do know is he was Whitney Houston's manager. So I'm going to use this as a time to mourn Whitney Houston yet again because I'll never be over her leaving us. From the moment I saw you, I went out of my mind. I never believed in love at first sight.
Hey family. All right. I am back. It's been a day. Welcome to Bluecentric Live. Literally just got out of the Uber and slipped into this chair like 5 minutes ago. Hold on for a quick second. Clive Davis has passed away. And Clive Davis, it's a complicated thing, right? I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say rest in peace or rest in piss. I don't know which one, because like many people who are considered legends of that time, they're flawed human beings, and the word flawed is in cap locks. So yes, he is the man who popularized, I'm using my language carefully, he is the man who popularized many of the icons of our day and time. And there's questions around business practices and at what price. And some believe that Whitney Houston not being with us today is it's a grab bag of misfortune, and Clive has a couple of pebbles in that bag. Okay. So just rest, Clive. To be respectful, I'll say rest. Welcome to the show. Oh, you guys, I just came from having a 2-hour-long meeting over at Google. If you follow me on Instagram, you see I was posting clips on my stories about how I was having lunch at Google. It was my first time having lunch there. It won't be my last. Shout out to my YouTube manager, Bridget, who always works really hard to make sure that she tries to pull me into the future. Because, as a millennial, I be fighting the AI and all the other stuff because I don't want the robots to eat my face. But shout out to her. She actually is a member of the Blue Crew. She has such amazing, granular, nuanced advice about what to do because she does watch the live. So she is probably going to see this video. So I just want to thank her. All right, guys, today, because it's a Monday quickie, I want to tell y'all, for everybody who said, where were you on Saturday? Saturday, I was outside. Saturday, I was frolicking. I know usually on Saturdays we do Love Island weekly recaps, and then we do an after show for the members. It's like a nice little zhuzh that I spend my Saturday nights with y'all, since I ain't got no man right now. I'm just playing. There's other days to be with men. But this week I had to recuse myself. And I had to recuse myself because I realized, and I'm going to say this nicely, and then I have to start the show because it's a quickie. We have to be over before 4 o'clock because then I have to do Carlos's show. In the same way that a broken clock can be right twice a day, a well-functioning clock can still glitch every once in a while. So I'm doing my best to understand that I am a social commentarian in an ecosystem. And this week, a lot of my peers got it fucking wrong. And I couldn't think of a polite way to say it, so I had to recuse myself. You bitches was wrong. Respectfully. Mind you, I started muting other content creators that I respect because I'm confrontational and I didn't want to be in their comments being autistic and direct and unintentionally offending people. You bitches got it wrong. You got it wrong. You got it wrong. And bitch is not a subtweet because I muted everybody. So I don't even know who the bitches are anymore. But y'all got it wrong when it comes to soul. Y'all misuse the word colorism. Colorism exists too many times in real life, or y'all keep misusing it like this. You're watering it down and using it incorrectly. So when it actually doesn't make sense, for those who are asking what happened in not Watch What Happens Live, in After Sun, Soul was eliminated from the island in the most hater way possible. And she had a great interview in After Sun. And in the last 3 seconds of the show, literally right before the credits, they asked her what she thought about Trinity and Bryce. And she said, Bryce keeps trying to get with Kada. So I think Bryce is more attracted to Kada than he is to Trinity and is wasting Trinity's time. Mind you, she spent the entire fucking rest of the show talking about how much she loved Trinity. Trinity's funny. Trinity's her favorite. Somehow, her saying that Bryce keeps begging Kada to date him, and therefore Kada is probably his actual type, and that she thinks he's more attracted to Kada because the one time he had to pick Trinity, he rejected her. The one time he had to pick her properly, for real, without being under duress, thinking the world was full of possibility, he rejected her, right? But ever since they've been together out of necessity, and she's falling for him, now he keeps trying to get with Kada. Mind you, Zach said this. I've said this. Anybody with Wi-Fi and who can count and has a calculator has said this. But because y'all can't fucking... Ooh, let me try to be nice. This is why I didn't do Saturday show, because I was going to be rude. I'm going to say this kindly. I'm a dark-skinned Black woman who does social commentary. There are a lot of other dark-skinned Black women who do social commentary. We're all brilliant. We all have different ways of doing it. We all bring our own things to the table. And I'm so sorry. On this one, I'm going to have to divest. Every dark-skinned social media commentarian who said that her saying, I think Bryce thinks Kate is prettier and that's why he keeps trying to get with Kate behind her back. That's not fucking colorist. That's just you discernment. It's not colorist. Sometimes I say the quiet part out loud. I'm going to choose to say the quiet part a little bit loud than normal. I am a dark-skinned Black woman who does not have any pain around light-skinned women. I was not bullied by light-skinned women growing up. They all wanted to befriend me because I was the only one on the playground who they felt like wanted to be friends with everybody, because my dumb autistic ass didn't even understand colorism was happening. I didn't know there was cliques happening. I was just playing with my Play-Doh, right? I don't have any personal pain around light-skinned women. I also don't have any personal pain around pretty bitches, because pretty bitches love me because we get judged based on appearance in different ways. I get judged as the fat girl who's going to have low self-esteem, and whole time I have the fucking self-esteem of a mediocre white man. They get judged as being mean. Some of them are mean, because mean people exist everywhere. But the nice ones are like, damn, people think I'm going to be a bitch. And I'm like, damn, people think I'm going to be a bitch too. And then we end up being friends. Because I don't have any personal trauma around light-skinned women, I see them as people, which means the ones who are colorist, the ones who suck, the ones who are full of themselves and think they're better than everybody, I can spot them objectively. And the ones who are normal, kind people who just happen to be light-skinned and pretty and bad bitches with nice titties who are built like fucking Halle Berry from Monsters Ball, I can be cool with them too. There's no pain for me to work around. And whatever pain I might have had from men, because light-skinned women can be nice to you all day, but when the men pit them against you, you can still have resentment, right? You could have literally best friends who are light-skinned, Black women, but if a Black man who you really liked only like light-skinned girls and rejects you for light-skinned girls, he can make you resent them even though she didn't do anything, right? So the women didn't give me a reason to resent them. The men did, though. I say this all the time. When I was growing up, there was a nigga named Rob that I liked. Rob liked big, pretty bitches. All the big, pretty bitches he dated looked just like me. So I thought Rob was going to like me. And then one day I asked his homeboy, why is Rob hitting on everybody but me? His last girlfriend, I'm cuter than her. What's going on? He said, yeah, Blue, you are cute, but like, he doesn't like them dark, though. He likes big yellow bitches. And I was like, oh, it's not that I'm fat. It's not that I'm not cute enough. It's because I'm not yellow. And there was a moment where I could have started hating big, pretty yellow bitches. But shout out to therapy. That didn't happen. right? Why am I sharing this? It's not lost on me that all the social commentarians who are dark skinned, who are convinced that old girl is colorist for saying water is wet, have a story about a trauma in their past that might have been subconsciously triggered. I don't. I don't. So I'm not taking shots at anybody because y'all know I'm fucking confrontational. Don't tag nobody under this post. Blue's talking about you. I'm not talking about anybody because I'm talking about fucking everybody. Right? But I need you to know that the fact that Soul is not just a light-skinned woman, but she's a light-skinned woman who's not pretending not to know how fine she is. When people tell Soul, girl, you beautiful, she says, I know. Right? Because on Love Island, the light-skinned girls are supposed to pander and pretend they don't know how cute they are because we all know the dark-skinned girls are the favorite to the audience because we know the men are not going to pick them. Right? The audience course corrects for the men and the producers. Yes? The audience course corrects for mainstream America. Right? I understand why we protect dark-skinned Black women on the shows, on all these shows, because we have to protect them. But check it though. While we have to protect dark-skinned Black women because it's valid and necessary and needed and we never need to stop, that don't mean we need to lie on people to do that. Why is it that you don't realize that Soul is a Black woman too, with 2 Black parents? All her cousins look like me. Soul is a Black woman with 2 Black parents. All her friends who are caping for her are Black of all different shades. And in the same way that we roll our eyes when light-skinned Black women conflate being picked on by dark-skinned girls who are in a space of misdirected pain, right? When dark-skinned girls are buckling under the weight of systemic oppression and they take out that frustration on the pretty light-skinned girl who is representing everything they're not. That's not reverse colorism because reverse colorism doesn't fucking exist, right? That is an individual pain point. That is individual bigotry. Colorism is a system of oppression. So in the same way, I can tell those light-skinned girls who say, well, I'm the victim of reverse colorism. No, you're not. You're the victim of hating ass bitches who are buckling under the weight of something bigger than both of you. Right? So it's not reverse colorism when those girls experience it. And also, it's still mean. It's still painful. And what I watched this fucking week was a bunch of dark-skinned cultural commentarians in real time being those girls in the playground. And I want no fucking part of it. I want no fucking part of it. I don't need to put an innocent person down to show how Black I am. I don't need to attack a girl who's pretty and represents what niggas want more than me to show how fucking woke and healed I am. I don't hate myself enough to need to take from Soul in order to be smug. Some of you are smug that you finally got to see a girl like that be humbled. And my question is, why the fuck do you need her to be humbled so bad? That's not about her. So for anybody who's been seeing my threads, who's been responding, I didn't see it, bitch, because I muted you. All right, let's start the fucking show. And this is why we skipped Saturday, because this is the nice version of me sleeping on it. Let's start the show. Let's first start with Husai. Let me drink some water. I told y'all in high school, I was the girl who bullied bullies. Y'all were fucking bullies this week. Y'all were fucking bullies this week. Every single Black woman who got on the fucking internet and tried to... We know why you really mad, ho. Don't make me say it, because I'm just as Black as you are, so now what? You're right, let's play the dogs. Let's play the dogs. Sorry. And just to clear the record for anybody who's new here, I don't have a problem with unhealed Black women being in a space of pain. I have a problem with unhealed Black women weaponizing their pain and their platforms and their large followings to attack innocent other Black women who just happen to be higher than them on the hierarchy. When I see Soul, I don't see competition. I don't see a light-skinned girl who thinks she's cute. I see a young girl who lost her father 2 years ago who's been mourning and went to Love Island to find a way to find joy after 2 years of crying into her sheets. The humanity in me won't let me rob her of the compassion that she fucking deserves just because she's a bad bitch. Fuck out of here. Sorry. I'm back. So, if you Let me hold on. Let me pull up the cleansing dogs. So if anybody who knows Soul's team, tag her and let her know that if she needs a safe space, to talk to a Black woman who sees her as another Black woman rather than competing with her subconsciously based on the optics. I don't give a fuck that Michael B. Jordan wants to talk to you. You still went through a lot, right? And stop using the whole thing where she's a bombshell. How she was treated was not regular even for bombshell. Stop fucking lying. I've been watching the show longer than most of you. Stop lying. That's not how bombshells are treated. That was nasty, mean girl shit. It was nasty, mean girl shit. I bullied bullies in high school. I guess I haven't fucking outgrown it. I don't like fucking bully shit. Y'all were fucking bullies. And if you have a problem, say it to my face. DM me. You all have my information. There's nobody in this space who can't contact me. It's a small fucking world. Let's play the dogs. Yeah, and meanwhile, Anaya's acting like a grade A bona fide fucking loser, and y'all still clapping for her. Come on, man. Y'all never beaten the allegations. Every time I convince a light-skinned woman that reverse racism doesn't exist just because she gets picked on by dark-skinned girls who are just jealous of her, you hoes come and make it harder for me to make her listen to me. All right, so let's talk about how Zach might be a little gay. Pivot. And you know why I'm responding to this? People want to humble me all the time. So I can smell it in the air. When someone is pretending to hyper-focus on a small perceived slight, when the whole time they're just jealous and waiting for it to humble you. I know you what it looks like when people are trying to humble somebody. Y'all try to humble me all the fucking time. Didn't work, didn't it? Didn't work. So get behind me, okay? So get the fuck behind me. If I can get in, and I actually went to YouTube today and told my manager, I said, are there any connects? And I went to Google today and said, are there any connects that we can reach out to Soul? And they told me that she doesn't have a YouTube manager. So why don't you have a YouTube manager? You're about to be a star. But she doesn't have a YouTube manager, so I couldn't use any of my contacts to get to her. But if I can interview Soul, I definitely the fuck will, because what y'all did was fucking unfair. It was groupthink. It was bullying, and I don't like that shit. Now, let's talk about Bryce. Now, here's the thing. I'm usually early. I was behind on the Bryce and Zach thing. I was so busy being disgusted by the girls. I missed a lot on Bryce and Zach and had to catch up. I missed it. Sorry, my titties are riding up my little silk blouse. I missed it. It wasn't until the episode that I saw a couple of days ago when Zach had Bryce's legs up in the air and was pushing his balls against him while stretching him out. And Bryce was talking about how good it felt. I said, this feel real gay. And not in the ironic fun way. Like, just for like good old homosexual activity. So be who you are. I said, no, hold on. I thought this was a joke. So because for time, whatever, let's go straight into the video about what the hell is going on with Bryce and Zach.
Bryce and Zach, I need you to figure out what y'all got going on. Bryce showing you his thing and then you saying that you like that big old snake and then saying that it nearly had you bricked up. And that's me trying to say it in the most demure way possible.
What you mean somebody's dick guy had you bricked up? That's called flirt. Okay, I don't understand what's happening. Women who I'm usually in alignment with are the bad guys. The dark-skinned girls are actually being mean for once, so we can't even call it colorism because the bitches are being mean. Y'all got me caping for Halle Berry's lookalike. Zach and Bryce looking at each other's penises. Love Island almost lost me this week. If it wasn't for yesterday, I would have announced that we weren't doing this no more.
Possible, because honestly, there's no demure way to say what was said between those two.
I didn't believe a single one of the allegations when it came to Bryce and Zach on Love Island this year. And then I was watching last night's episode where Bryce showed Zach his, and then there was a lot of commentary. And I was watching this episode with my girlfriend and her friend, and being the only man in the room, of course, they asked me,
No, it's not, baby. I have a white man on the screen right now who's about to tell you this is more than normal. So it's not. All of y'all who think it's normal for white people, even the white men are like, that's not us. That's gay. Gay's not bad. It's just not straight.
This is something every man does. To which I replied, well, at least in my 20-something years of life, it's not something I've ever personally experienced or heard of. Now, I know there are all different lines when it comes to straight men and their friendships. Like every straight man can relate to the fact that at some point in their lives, something that they've done gets called gay or seems gay to someone else. That's normal. That's par for the course. Sadly, in society, honestly, like the more affection you show to one of your guy friends as a straight man, some people will just naturally say or assume it's gay. And as you get older, you learn to not take that as an insult. And you're just like, okay, cool. And then there's like Zach and Bryce, where one of them woke up in the morning and showed the other one inside his shorts and then like continued the commentary about it. That's not friendship. I've never done any of that with any of my friends and been like, nice.
Just to put the Zach and Bryce girth check.
I also put the gays in here so y'all don't think we're being problematic. So I knew y'all were going to say, well, they're just gay or they're just white men. We have gay men and gay white men saying, no, that's not us. Something's going on.
On Love Island into perspective. I'm a gay man, right? I have a lot of girlfriends I'm close with. Mm-hmm. Would I ever, okay, because I'm not attracted to women. Would I ever go up to one of my girlfriends and say, puss check, and take a look into their panties?
Good point.
And take a look at that kitty? Would I ever do that? No, because I'm not attracted or into that. So y'all are gay as fuck. Y'all are unfortunately or fortunately gay as fuck. And there is a genetic component to being gay, and let's just say one of them has the gene. Actually, they both do, but one has the gene a bit stronger. You should get this hat, though. You should wear this hat in the house. In the Love
The hat says heterosexual, and he's gay as hell. That's deeply funny.
Island house. Is that what it's called? I don't fucking...
So to all the people that are asking me...
This is his brother. Even his brother is like, nigga, I can't tell you what the hell's going on because I'm confused, too. His brother's fighting for his life the way we are, trying to figure this shit out.
Have I seen the edits of Rice? I get tagged in about 10 a day, probably more, but on average about 10 a day, no joke. You know, so I see it, I'm there, I live it, I breathe it. I'm on this journey with you guys as they progress. It is just fascinating. You know, I didn't know the rules stated that you could be in two couples at the same time.
He's cracking a joke because he's saying it looks like Bryce is in a couple with his brother and with Casa.
Zach from Love Island is an evil ass bisexual, and
I even pulled up the bisexuals. I said, I want everybody be who you are. I want everybody who is a white person, a gay person, a bisexual man. I want all the people involved in this murder mystery that's not a murder mystery, child. I want everybody to speak so that nobody can say that Blue is being homophobic or problematic, okay? The gays and the straights have held hands, and we're all on one accord of what the fuck is going on. We all agree on this. It's very rare.
let me tell you why. That comment that he made to Bryce about how he said, and I quote, he said, yeah, Bryce, I just think, mate, that like me, you, and Casa are better like trio than me, you, Casa, and Trinity.
I clocked that when he said, well, I think that you should be, he said, I think me, you, and Casa are a better trio than me, you, and Trinity. I said, I've been a third to a couple before. Y'all know I used to be in the kink community. If you don't, welcome to the show. I know what it's like to be a third. I don't hear that in the vanilla world very often. Why are you thinking about which trio is better? Trio, this is Love Island for couples, duos. So even when he talks, he's talking like, who are me and my nigga gonna share as a girlfriend? I've never seen anything like it on Love Island.
That is only something a bisexual would say. Like, only. And I have been the bisexual third wheel to a couple. Oh my, I have coffee on my nose, sorry. Like, wait, okay, I'm like kind of like outing my tea right here. But anyways, I have been in that position before, and it is a bisexual position to be in because you're... Child, okay, wait, I'm losing the plot here. Wait. Okay.
By the way, he reminds me so much of me. Because whenever I'm trying to talk about something that I have to refer back to an old sex story or my old whole days, I get distracted trying to like figure out which stories I can and can't say. So I give him some grace. I understand why he's glitching because it's like, oop, I gotta choose my words carefully.
Zach is fucking bisexual, and Zach and Bryce just need to do whatever they fucking need to do to get it out of their systems. That's what I'm trying to say. And that comment was fucking crazy.
Is it just me who's just now finding out that Zach from Love Island is bisexual?
Allegedly. Don't nobody sue me. Okay? Although I do very well in court. Nobody's surprised. Allegedly, the streets are saying he is bisexual. So he's not lying to the girls. He just might be omitting half the story.
And actually has an ex-boyfriend. Yes, I've been joking about like the whole Zach and Bryce thing, but like
It's not a joke.
this could be real. Yeah. And after tonight's episode, when Bryce showed Zach his wee-wee, yeah. Team's Rice.
I can't wait until Bryce and Zach get their phone.
Look at them in the bed, child. That's not how you lay in bed with your homies.
Back. But here's why I have a huge problem with the producers making all of these edits showing their deep bromance. If the producers are going to show us this bromance and they're going to tease it and they're going to make it so that people are talking about all the little things, because it would be so easy to edit all of these comments out. Like when Bryce is talking about Zach's arms looking good, or when, like the taps or any of the comments, the tongue comment, whatever. If the producers are going to take advantage of that narrative, then they need to also be willing to put on contestants that are bi, that would show two men coupling up together.
Exactly, because you're making bi now. Every episode, they put more gay content, so it's almost like you're turning them potentially being bisexual as a punchline. I'm all for representation. I'm not here for mockery. And I think that there's so many scenes now being added. Every episode, it's more gay shit without them talking about it. If you're going to keep adding the scenes, I don't want this to turn from representation into a mockery, especially during Pride Month. Hello. So yeah, I had to put this in because it was starting to annoy me. It's one thing if the audience sees a fleeting moment. Now I feel like the producers are intentionally keeping those moments in to feed the flames of us speculating about their sexuality. And that's starting to lean in a way that's problematic, in my opinion.
There are two women coupling up together, because leaning into this narrative and creating gossip around it and putting these two men who may or may not be interested in other men.
Yes, they're trying to tap into the heated rivalry crowd. I completely agree with that take.
It doesn't really matter. To be creating this narrative and to be perpetuating the narrative is really not fair to those who live in this world, who would love to go on a Love Island, who would like to participate in these game shows where it's all about dating, but it's only for straight men and only for straight women. And for such a big TV show to have such a big platform and really just make it kind of the butt of a joke without actually backing it up and putting on bi men and women or a gay man or a gay woman is really something that I think Love Island and Peacock need to think about when they are creating these shows.
And if I said that Zach had abusive loser boyfriend tendencies.
So while y'all worried about Zach being gay, the whole time I was worried about him being an asshole to Casa. Casa and Trinity, I've said this before, I'm completely apathetic to the girls in the villa, because to me, the girls who were the most emotionally intelligent the people who were the most emotionally intelligent were Sean, Bea, and Sol. All the emotional intelligent people were put out. Melanie is not a Huda, but y'all are giving her the Huda stan thing where you now are being her fans just to be contrarian and whatever, right? So the new Huda stans are now the new Melanie stans, not because Melanie is Huda, but because y'all are acting like Huda stans. Melanie is innocent in this, actually. It's not Melanie who I have an issue with. It's Melanie's fans. I think Melanie is a young, immature girl who has a lot of growing up to do, who I believe that when she watches this back has an opportunity to grow up, unless the stans keep on enabling her and blowing smoke up her ass. So last year I was looking at Huda's stans crazy because I was looking at Huda crazy. Now I'm apathetic to Melanie, but those of you who are caping for her and her bullshit while simultaneously hating Soul for being way more chill, y'all are the issue this year. The audience is the fucking issue this year. And though, while y'all were trying to be haters and pitting the girls against each other, because of course you were, I was worried about Zach and how he was talking to Casa, because Casa and Trinity are my two, I don't want to say faves, because here's the thing that's so tricky. I love Casa and Trinity when they're by themselves or together. I despise the groupthink of them when they're with the rest of the girls. The girls as a collective are the lamest collective of girls I've ever seen in any franchise. right? So don't think just because I cannot stand the group of girls that I still don't recognize how dope Trinity and Kata still are. And because I still recognize how dope Trinity and Kata are, that's why when I started to realize how Zach was starting to Kata, I said, oh, baby, no, this ain't it. Zach is giving closeted abuser boyfriend who gaslights you while pretending to be a nice guy. I don't like it.
What do we think? Everything Zach does is manipulative, and that manipulation is bred through his insecurity, because why are you soft launching, potentially exploring a bombshell right after you've been inside this lady? And then
literally, they had sex, and the very next day he said he wanted to explore. Who you want to explore, Bryce? Imagine you let somebody in your body, and the very next day they say they want to look at their options. That is destabilizing. It's also called negging, right? In the manosphere community, negging is when you make a woman put her guard down, be vulnerable around you, and just when she trusts you most, you say something to make her insecure, to bring her down a peg, to humble her systemically. It literally is a thing where, oh, you like me now? Now it's time to tell you I think your breath stink. Oh, you like me now? Now it's time for me to point out your edges are crunchy. The fact that he has turned up the negging after they had sex, I'm more concerned about that than I am about if he's bisexual or not.
And once we sent home Gabrielle, you said, all y'all ladies better explore Caleb. Y'all better talk to him tomorrow. And your girl did just that. Kata did just that. And then you get upset with her after she's exhibiting the behavior that you said you might do.
Caleb already peeped. Shout out to J Lion 16. Caleb already peeped Zach is bi and is flirting with him now for funsies. I've noticed that. There's a clip in here. I saw that chin caress in the bedroom last night. We all did, honey. That chin caress was loud.
Then you paint her out to be a villain in front of an audience. You reject her in front of an audience when they were all together in the kitchen. You reject her trying to communicate and solve whatever the tension is. And then you call her aggressive and angry to that same audience when you were the one that was icing her out.
You attacked her covertly and then called her aggressive. It's giving Amanda from Summer House.
He does not like her and he does not respect her. And I need her to start listening to everything that he says and also paying attention to everything that he does. Because all that it's indicated to me for the past 2 weeks is that man does not like nor respect this lady. I hope that this is the last straw for Katie, because it actually pains me to watch her beg and plead for this man's respect and care and consideration and reverence.
We've all been Kata's, right? Kata was King Kata when she was single. And the minute she gets with a man who wants to humble her, now we're watching her diminish before our eyes. It is breaking my heart. I've been a Kata before. It makes me incredibly... Y'all gonna peep this about me. I don't look at these kids as archetypes or symbols to fan out for or hate. I look at them as real people. You see how when Melanie was acting up, I chin-checked Melanie on acting up, and now that Melanie realized, oh, I don't want to be hooded, and is calming down, I haven't said a single bad thing about her. I was never out to get Melanie. I was just talking about her actions in the moment in present tense, right? And there's a level of maturity it takes to do that I think a lot of the audience is missing. The minute somebody reminds you or triggers you or something you don't like, now you want them to die. No, I'm worried about who's safe and who's unsafe. Zach is not safe for Kata, and that concerns me. And we're so busy getting mad at pretty bitches that we're not recognizing the harm that Zach is causing. We're also not recognizing the girls are mean. I never thought in 10 years I would say this. It took me several seasons in several countries to say this. For the first time in Love Island history, I can actually say that I agree the girls are mean. It's not colorism. Bea and Soul have come out and confirmed it. So now what? You know better than the bitches who are on the island? Okay.
When he wants to be chased, clearly. And she's doing all those things because she's always initiating the resolution, the care, the comfort, the affirmation. He ain't doing nothing. He's just existing. And if that's her vibe, if she likes that, then great. But it doesn't seem like it is. So something's got to change, and quickly.
The chin. For those who missed the chin. And the Casa Amor episode that is hands down the best episode of the season and the only reason I'm still watching. Yes. The question of because whenever I ask a question, I like to answer it. The question for today's live is, did Casa Amor just save Love Island from being an epic fail? The answer is absolutely the fucking did. Without last night's episode, y'all might not have seen me this week. I'm not even gonna hold you. I have enough in savings to skip a couple of lives if I have to. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me, but I'm not getting paid enough to talk about shit that I don't like. And on Saturday, I was disgusted with everything. I was disgusted with the viewers, the social commentarians, making up bullshit. Everybody. I was disgusted with everybody. I was preparing to come here on Wednesday and tell y'all, count me the fuck out. Casa Amor is the only reason we back.
Not Zach cheating on Bryce.
That was a little gay. The gays agree, so it's not homophobic. That was a little gay.
What the fuck?
Maybe I'm missing something, but I'm seeing a lot of people upset about the comment that Soul made pertaining to Trinity and Bryce and saying that Soul shaded Trinity. You're obviously missing the fact that Soul is clocking Bryce's tea. She is not shading Trinity. She has nothing to say about Trinity's look. She is saying that
The gag is Soul has repeatedly made it clear that Trinity's her favorite. Y'all want to be mad so bad. Y'all wasted all that time writing think pieces about bullshit you made up in your head.
Bryce, from her experience in the villa, is more attracted to Kata. And you know what? A big part of me agrees, because that man literally pulled his best friend's girl after she rejected him because he wanted to see if there was anything else there. If he wasn't super attracted to her, he would not have done that. And that in no way means that he doesn't think that Trinity is attractive. It's just that Kata might be more his type. And it might boil down to the fact that when we have Casa Amor, Soul wasn't wrong. She was just early.
Soul wasn't wrong. She was just early. Who does that sound like? Sorry. Y'all know this is my daily chlorophyll. It wouldn't be a Bluecentric live unless I was putting some chlorophyll in my water, child. For those who are seeing, I put chlorophyll in my water once a day. I need to find me a chlorophyll company that will work with me, because when I tell you that, oh, by the way, we're starting 90 Supple this week. I'm gonna come out with some content around that, but you know, Monday's my busy day. All right, so let's watch what this young lady in the pretty bonnet has to say.
My third time trying to make this video because I don't want to say this the wrong way, like I'm scared. But I just hope that dying on this hill about Bryce and Trinity is worth it for y'all and he don't embarrass you on Casa Amor. I'm sorry. And Trinity's my favorite Islander and I want her to win the show no matter who she's with. Like, I don't give a fuck. However, I kind of feel like Soul might have seen something that we didn't because she was actually there. And I don't want to jump her for saying Bryce might think that Trinity isn't as pretty as Kata when she was there interacting with Trinity and Bryce. And like, I wasn't. And Zach literally said the same thing. Zach literally said, I think that Bryce would leave Trinity for Kata. And any day I think he would leave it. So, and that's his boyfriend. And y'all gonna argue with his boyfriend? Well, Trinity's my favorite Islander.
Y'all gonna argue with his boyfriend? You know what this basically is in my mind? There's a thing I call the eye whites. When you can't stand somebody, it doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter how benign it is, you hate it. Oh, look at that bitch over there. I can't stand her eye whites. Bitch, we all got eye whites. But because you can't stand her, now you find her eye whites annoying. Oh, look at her. I can't stand the way she chew. Baby, she has to chew to swallow the food. Y'all can't stand Soul's eye whites, and it doesn't have anything to do with Trinity. So fucking stop.
I've been dying on the Trinity Hill all season. I'll defend Trinity down. I'm not extending that same courtesy to Bryce. And if she leaves him in Casa Amor, I'll be happy. Because do I think if a Kata looking type LA model baddie came in to Casa Amor, he would explore them?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I hope he proves me wrong because I don't want Trinity to get hurt. I don't. And Bea did say that Trinity does actually like Bryce, and I don't want her to get hurt. I'm just saying, y'all are really jumping Soul. And I think some of this energy could be pointed towards that man who...
Because that would make more sense, right? Okay. Somebody said, as a reality producer, shout out to Mrs. Dolce Vita. Well, I like that name. As a reality producer, I think they're spicing things up, but it's hard to watch as a fan. I agree. I'm side-eyeing Love Island. Like, is this a produced moment? Is this an edit? The narratives always feel questionable. The narratives feel questionable, but for once, it's not just the producers. The girls are just whack as a collective. Two of them are amazing on their own, but as a collective, they give me the fucking ick. The girls as a collective give me the ick. And for the first time ever, I'm a Taurus, right? Tauruses, we're very loyal. I've never watched Love Island and not hissed at the Casa girls, because in my mind, the Casa girls are trying to break up well-established relationships. I'm rooting for every Casa bitch who can make it in there, except for the one who's the angel. And I'll tell you why in a second. The girl with the angel wings, I don't fuck with her.
Literally already embarrassed Trinity by trying to pull Kata after she already said no to him. So yeah, don't jump me. I just think some of this energy for Soul is a little misdirected.
Soul says she is a black woman who loves black love, so miss her with that colorist shit.
Because Bryce still...
This is Soul. Okay, literally. So for all of you mental giants who think that you are the all-seeing, omnipotent God who knows better than everybody, here is Soul speaking on her own behalf about her own experience. Now you can choose to think she's a lying ass bitch or not. But this is completely in alignment with her character. This is Soul speaking on her behalf, literally saying what I was saying before she left the villa. I wasn't wrong, I was early. How about that?
Rejected multiple times after being rejected.
She said Bryce was repeatedly rejected. It was more than once. Bryce was repeatedly rejected by Kata in the house, is what she's saying. Repeatedly. And kept going back. Clearly, he thinks Kata's prettier than Trinity if he keeps trying to get with her behind Trinity's back. There's not... Y'all really tried to make that into a colorist moment. Sorry. I'm so disgusted intellectually, but go ahead.
I'm just trying to put y'all on. Let's see the same thing. I do sound like shit. I am fucking tired. Please don't put words in my mouth. Amen. I genuinely think she's a beautiful girl. I wouldn't ever say anything hurtful or meaningful, especially about her. I wouldn't try to downplay any fucking woman of color fucking ever. That's just not who I am. That's not who I am. So I literally just want to tell you guys that I think she's fucking gorgeous. If we're seeing how Bryce was, and I was there, bitch, I was in the villa. So Bryce pulled Kata again multiple times and got rejected and still went back to Trinity. Zach laughed in his face.
Oh my God, I literally have her in my notes as T. Mussolina Gomez. For those who don't know, there's one Casa girl that I don't fuck with already. She made a horrible first impression. And that was actually racist, in my opinion. So the girl with the angel wings, let me get to the point. When they had the Casa girls come out, we're going to talk about this more in a second. She made it a point she got her disgust when she was in front of every single black man was palpable. Oop, don't touch me, nigga. Oop, don't touch me, nigga. But then tongue kissed all the white boys or all the non-black boys. I've never seen anybody, even racist girls, kiss the black men on Love Island. Because hating niggas and not wanting to fuck niggas are two different things. Black men are so mandingo-fied, right? There are so many racist white women or white presenting Latinas who still realize that black men are fine because they're fucking fine as shit. They've been told not to realize that we're beautiful. Whole other conversation. But the whole world knows that black men are attractive. Desirability politics is where black men leave black women behind, right? Because blackness is seen as hypermasculine. It's not good for a woman to be seen as hypermasculine, so we're considered ugly. But it's great for a man to be seen as hypermasculine, which is why they're considered sexual conquests. Even the most MAGA-loving blonde bitches who cannot stand N-words in the real world still recognize that black men are beautiful. The girl with the angel wings in Casa, her racism is different. The minute she saw a black man, she was like, ugh, don't touch me. She literally told Casey, keep your hands to yourself. And he was like, oh, okay. He's like, bitch, I don't even like white women. I just thought we were having fun. Right? Because it was a challenge where you're supposed to be kissing stuff. When she kissed Corbin, you literally saw her body be repelled. The idea of kissing an attractive 6'4" black man literally gives her the ick, but she kissed on Bryce, who looks like the leftovers of the chicken when you couldn't bite the gristle off. Are you serious, bitch? So yeah, I don't need her to come on. We don't need to vote her back on the island. The other girls, they're tea.
Face again. He said, okay, I mean, go ahead, bro. I don't think she's gonna do it. And he was happily with Trinity, right? I feel like Bryce is waiting for a perfect time to dip, and that's just my feelings. That's what I think. Trinity is gorgeous. I think she's beautiful. Again, it's nothing about her being.
By the way, she said Trinity was gorgeous before y'all got mad at her. So this is not her pandering. This is her repeating what she said before y'all made shit up. It's not her pandering. I checked.
Okay, well, fuck anyone that thinks otherwise. It's literally nothing about her being dark skinned at all. And that's like nasty that you guys as mine are so racist that you immediately think toward.
Oh, she was removed. Yeah, Mike and Monique told me that one of them was removed. If it was the girl with the angel wings, I fucking called it because that bitch was giving me racist so much. She was the only dark spot in a really fun episode. But her racism was so loud, we didn't even need her to speak.
That's like disgusting to me. So, yeah. Think what you say before you fucking write it at the end of the day.
Okay.
That was so talking directly to you, social commentarians. Think what you say before you write it. Think about that. An academic who has to actually double check before they make shit up based on personal grievance. What a novel idea.
I'm thinking we may not need clients next year till at least episode 10. At least until episode 10, nobody should be allowed to have clients for Love Island. Because how the fuck are y'all telling Soul that she wasn't bullied in that villa when you...
I intentionally picked a dark-skinned black woman to say this, so y'all don't think it's just me. Yo, you can tell who's healed and who's not when it comes to these shows. This is why I love doing social commentary on pop culture and politics. I don't give a fuck how many degrees you got, how many followers you got, how popular you are, how much money you have. When it comes to reality TV, people tell you what parts of them haven't fully healed based on how they use their intellectual analytical skills. Let's just put it that way. Because I'm not smarter than any of the people who got this wrong. They're all brilliant people. So it's not because I'm smarter than them. Just saying.
The only connection to Love Island that you have is a Peacock subscription.
Ooh.
From America.
Okay, she's talking to y'all crazy too, so now I don't feel so alone. She said, you bitches. I didn't watch this entirely because I wanted to enjoy it with y'all, but I already like her. What is her name? Hold on. What is this influencer's name? I'm going to take off the comments so we can all see her name. Y'all know I like to keep the people's names up so we can all shout them out. This young lady name is Not Ali Y1. If y'all follow her on TikTok, tell her that Bluecentric completely fucking agrees with her. And I'm proud of her for not letting whatever trauma she might have personally stop her from protecting another black woman. That's why I'm so hurt about this, guys. Seeing black women jump another black woman who didn't do shit wrong just because she's pretty is so fucking basic bitch to me. It offends me as an academic. So shout out to this young lady for getting it right.
She was on the island. If she said Melanie was cordial, but the other girls were bad, and I'm not a Melanie defender. Y'all can see from episode 1, from June 3rd, I've been making videos talking about get that heifer out my villa, right? But if she says Melanie was cordial, but she still experienced mean girl activity, who you think did it? The fucking air? No. I also heard apparently in After Sun, Soul goes on to say that Anaya interrupted every conversation.
So you know that scene when they show Melanie about to run up to the stairs to interrupt Soul and Sincere, and KC says, Melanie, stop. Melanie, stop. Melanie, don't interrupt them. I'm now realizing the reason why KC had such a good, honest, objectively mature. KC's not always mature, but the poor young man, he's in a bind. But the reason why KC now in my mind, and this is just me speculating, but I suspect he might confirm it when he comes out, because have you guys noticed everything that I say that y'all disagree with? When people come out, they repeat everything I said. It's almost like I do this for a living. So I suspect the reason why KC ran to stop Melanie from stomping up the stairs to drag Sincere away from Soul, which is fucked up, by the way, that she was going to do that, is because Anaya had been doing it to him all along. Soul has not come out and said every single conversation that she tried to have with this young man, Anaya would come up and pull him away. That's donkey behavior, Anaya. I am not a fan. Anaya, the more you talk, the less I like you. I am not a fan. I'm not inviting you to the show because it's going to be rude. And what's wild is, for those saying this is how bombshells are, no, it's not. What used to happen is the bombshells would come into the villa and they would get a text saying, hey, 2 of the boys have to go on a date with the bombshell away from everybody else so they can get to know each other. This year, I understand one of the executive producers passed away. So the production team, I'm actually going to throw him some bail. They've been mourning his loss. He was only 40 years old. Having one of your leaders die in Fiji is incredibly traumatizing. I can't imagine what that feels like. And however, him passing away and y'all dropping the ball because you were dealing with real life stopped Soul and everybody who should have gotten a chance from having a fair shot. So no, anybody saying this is typical bombshell behavior, no, it's not, bitch, shut up. It's not. You know what the fuck you're talking about. No, it's not. This is not typical bombshell behavior. The bombshells this year were actually robbed. As a matter of fact, not opinion. Right? As a matter of fact, not opinion. So you don't have to tell me you disagree. That's like you tell me disagree that 1 + 1 is 2. You think I fucking care that you can't count? Bombshells historically, throughout all the countries that this show has done, because I've watched like 5 or 6 different franchises, guys. You know I do my research. Every single bombshell, when they come in, particularly when it's ones that are hot and have a lot of traction, they say, Soul, pick 2 people to go on a date with. Caleb, pick 2 people to go on a date with. This year, they didn't do that, so it wasn't typical bombshell behavior. The way okay. I need to calm down. I would just say this. Let the record show that I don't even have to like somebody for me to be disgusted when I see them get bullied. And the word bully is a heavy word. It's a heavy word. So I'm going to look at the camera and say this. You bitches tried to socially bully that girl. You're bullies. That's why I'm mad at you. You're bullies. Let's continue.
That him and Soul were having. Casey hates that girl.
He hates her, yeah.
If that's what happened, Casey hates Anaya. He is gonna jump ship, and now I don't even blame him. How you gonna interrupt every conversation? But they only show one because they were too busy showing us other stuff. Soul said every conversation that she tried to have with Casey was interrupted by Anaya walking up. And the same conversation was happening for like 8 days. I can only imagine he was tired. And then whenever he's ready to talk to her, she don't want to talk. She wants to walk. Naya's dead wrong. Anaya's dead fucking wrong. I'm not even gonna lie. I got beef with Anaya right now. So I was not defending her as my client. I did not consider Anaya my client. I was going to take her in wholeheartedly, and y'all saw I was making videos. Oh, I love her. She's so sweet. And then it just started kind of waning off because I was a little bit Shelly confused by her behavior. If Soul was in the villa and she experienced these things.
But the young girl who said that, you said nobody bullied Soul. Soul said she was bullied. Soul was there. You weren't. So guess who wins?
Who are y'all to say that she didn't experience these things outside the villa? Oh, well, production would have showed that. No, they would not have, because Soul already wanted to leave the villa. Soul already wants to defend your faves in a certain way. They want certain people to keep watching. The boys most certainly dumped Soul to stay, not only because they are bitches to Sinister, but because they didn't want their girls mad anymore. Yeah. Casey, hop up on out of there. Not saying that they're having the best communication right now, but Anaya keeps bringing the same shit up over what Zach said. They need to leave each other alone. But I am absolutely pissed off that Anaya ruined my fucking parlay on Casey and Soul. Because they were supposed to be together. They absolutely were. Casey was.
Somebody said, "You think I care? You can't count." I really don't, though. That's why I started muting people. I was like, "Oh no, this is." Here's the thing. What's that quote that I said that I was going to start using? I only debate my equals. Everybody else I teach. I'm not debating you about if water is wet. It's never happening. So there's certain debates I'm not going to have because they're beneath me. This one was beneath me.
Sick. Absolutely sick. And whether or not she knew she was being emotionally manipulative, if you start bawling and crying.
Soul also confirmed she was pied way more than twice. Y'all keep getting it fucking wrong. Where are my apologies? For everybody who told me that I was wrong. Soul confirmed it. Everything I've said this season thus far has been confirmed when they came out the island. None of them fucking know me. So what's up? At what point do y'all realize that my track record is giving you enough to say maybe we should listen to her? I'm not always right, but Love Island is not that hard to fucking... It's not a long division. Child.
Everybody in the villa, oh my God, he's gonna leave me. And he never really loved me. One, he wasn't supposed to love you. It's been 12 days. 12 days. Soul walked in day 7. It had been a week. You balling.
I hate to say it, but Anaya may be who they think KC to be. Oh, I said that 2 weeks ago, so you're not alone. I said that 2 weeks ago.
Tripping out. She was just in danger of leaving the villa, and that's her way of playing the game, but we're saying it's unethical hoops. It's wrong.
It's wrong, yeah.
The grandma comment, like y'all are giving Anaya the benefit of the doubt. I gave Casey the benefit of the doubt because that was the one thing Casey did. Absolutely. Anaya done fucked up 3-4 times before this, and now we know she interrupted every conversation he had with the bombshell and did not allow exploring.
She didn't allow it.
That sounds like she dragged it, did it not? Would you not be tired of somebody if you see somebody that you would really want to explore a connection with, and because he was too scared of everything going on and people really seem to like them, he just said, fuck it. He is going to fly away during Casa. He's going to say, fuck the audience and do what he wants to do, which is really how the villa should be moving. But the audience is almost too involved. But again, I'm going to ask you this. Who the fuck are you watching from America on your couches compared to Soul, who was in the villa? But I don't like what she said about Trinity. She didn't say shit about Trinity. She only said shit about Bryce. Saying that you believe Kata is prettier than Trinity does not mean you think Trinity is ugly. Did y'all?
She didn't even say she believed Trinity is prettier. She literally said, I believe that Bryce thinks Kata is prettier based on his behavior. That's called discernment, not colorism.
I'll make it past high school.
No, we didn't.
I need Elmo to think on that for a little bit.
She's not good. They almost lost me until they did the greatest. Let me explain something to y'all. I always hate how late they are with movie night, how they don't pick the right tweets for the the tweet challenge. I think they stopped the Twitter challenge because the tweets are too mean. How Casa, Amor, the girls that come in are always nasty and stank and trying to establish good relationships. This year, they fixed all of those problems with one episode. Whoever, because I know people who work in Love Island watch this show. I've heard. I've gotten hit up by NBC Universal. What's up? So I know they watch the show. Whoever decided to do what y'all did last night deserves a raise. Whoever came up with having the girls dress up for the heart rate challenge, think they're going to be sexy and showing off, and they're extra smug because they got rid of the baddie that they were icing out. They're extra smug because the bad bitch they were worried were going to take their men is gone. So now they're extra fucked up about it, right? So they were just, oh yeah. What do they always say? Pride comes before the fall. Last night's episode should have been called Pride Comes Before the Fall, because the girls got dressed up, the boys got dressed up. The girls are thinking we about to show America that we better than so. Fuck that big titty light skinned bitch. Look at us, we got it. The boys got took and sent to Casa instead. And when the girls saw this big box, they thought the box was going to be the men coming out to dance for them. And said the box was a big old TV showing the boys at Casa Amor getting danced on by a whole new group of bitches. It was, what is it? Sensational. It was sensational. I loved it. I loved it. I'm standing up. Like, wait, what's that box?
Give
The
the
boys are
Casa girls their baddie chain.
The girls, everybody but the angel was amazing. Fuck the angel. But everybody, the other 5 girls are amazing.
And give production their baddie chain. This episode single-handedly saved season 8 of Love Island USA. My goodness, this episode was well worth all the mess that we've been through, to be quite honest. So let's get into this kickoff of Casa Amor. Starting off with the episode, we are dealing with the aftermath of Kata chatting with Kayla and Zach being a little douchebag about it, to be quite honest. His level.
We're focused on the girls because we spent 10 years focusing on the boys and always saying that the girls were way better than the boys. And it's the first time in the history of the entire show in the last decade of all the franchises where the girls have been this whack. And because it's unprecedented, we're focused on something that's happening for the first time. It makes sense to focus on something that's happening for the first time in a decade across the globe. Hope that helps. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm being serious. We spent 10 years attacking the boys. It's the first time ever we've had a group of girls this lame. That's why we're focused on it.
Of communication, everyone need to stop comparing Bryce to Zach, because they are literally night and day when it comes to communication in their relationship. Zach literally threatens to withhold stuff from Kata, whether that's affection, whether it's that food or doing a service for her under the disguise of joking. But if you're going to joke like that, you're more than likely.
Yes, baby. Did you miss the beginning? We talked about the men at the beginning. Again, the men have always been whack, so that's nothing new to talk about. We're talking about something new that happened. Every year we talk about how whack the men are. Every year.
We're going to do that. Him and his feelings about Kayla pulling her for a chat, even though you, one, encouraged him to go do it. 2, both you and Kayla said y'all are also open. So why are you all of a sudden upset? And then you threaten to go pull Melanie for a chat. Zach is such a loser.
As if Melanie hasn't been through enough. Saying I'm going to pull Melanie for a chat. My heart went out to Melanie in that moment that he was just seeing her as a ploy. Don't use Melanie like that. That girl's been through enough. Sincere is a piece of shit. If she ends up with him, she already has her hands full. She doesn't need you to, Zach.
Get him out this villa. Next up is Casey and Anaya yet again talking about Casey exploring soul.
Yes, we are. We just disagree.
So when I tell you, I don't even want them together. I don't want them to survive Casa and get back together. To me, they are fundamental.
You guys, I'm not making assumptions. Everything that I've said is going to be in the video coming out of the mouth of soul and different people. That's not an assumption. That's not how words work. You must be new here. So check it, guys. I was working in the news for over a decade. I was on CNN, Time Magazine, Peacock. We'll watch the show. They've all cited me as a news source. Peacock did a documentary where they did a whole segment based on my research. I'm a journalist who is doing this for fun. So I'm actually not doing it on assumptions. You must be new here. Everything I'm saying, if I wanted to, I could spend 3 hours here drowning you in receipts. Instead, I'm synthesizing it down to an hour for fun. Okay, good talk.
We like just not compatible anymore. The level of communication, the level of, I would say, expectations with each other, it's not aligned. So this needs to be gone dead for real. But let's get into Casa of it all. When I tell you the girls' reaction once they saw this movie, basically mini movie night of the guys at Casa, I'm convinced the girls forgot Casa happens on this show. Like, I'm convinced they forgot a lot of things happen on the show, but their reaction to it is given they forgot. Obviously, the boys are over the moon about going to Casa, X, Y, and Z. The ladies put on a show. Like, every one of them did so well. Every one of them is beautiful.
For those who are saying they're surprised by the people who were in the comments who are clearly new, who are that the people don't see how the girls are moving weird, it's groupthink. There are women who think that being a girl's girl means they can't have any independent thoughts or critical analysis outside of tribalism. It's groupthink. So for those of us who are objective, who are like, we were rooting for the girls until the girls were whack, and now we have to admit the girls are whack, even though we've spent, and if you're late and you missed the part where we spent literally the opening of the show talking about men, by the way. So if you're late, don't talk on something because you were late. We started at 2:20, it's 1:30, it's 3:30. So you're an hour late. We spent 30 minutes on the boys first. So you being late is why you're confused, not because I didn't do my job. Yeah? Just want to point that out. But for those who were surprised by the women who are in here, that is groupthink. Feminism is not women wanting other women to be wrong and pretending they're right. Feminism is women loving women and respecting them enough to compassionately chin check them when they're wrong so they can course correct, the same way we want men to do. Feminism doesn't mean being a hypocrite. It doesn't. So if you are a girl's girl who does not have critical analysis and it's going to always cape for the girls, even when they're obviously wrong, this is not the space for you, respectfully. I'm objective. When people do good, I applaud. When people show their ass, I critique. That's called being fair.
When I tell you, obviously, I can point out who the ones who gonna be the entertainers of the Casa girls, who more than likely will get in the villa. I put my money on Tierra, Padma.
The Persian Kitty is what I started calling her. I didn't want to mispronounce her name. Persian Kitty. So the Persian girl who looks like the Kardashians with the kitty costume, and Tierra. Tierra was given like South African Meg Thee Stallion. She is a fucking oof. Tierra and Casey very clearly had some good energy. Tierra is cute. And here's the thing. For those who wondered, does Casey really like black women? Casey, he likes black women a lot. They brought in a lot of chocolate for him, and he was only seriously interested in the chocolate. He played along with everybody else, but Casey's preference, we have now solved the mystery. Casey's preference is chocolate girls. It was very obvious. Last night, I was waiting. I even said it. If you go back 2 weeks ago, I said, I'm not going to cape for Casey. Let's see who he reaches for in Casa Amor. We can now confirm that Casey does like chocolate girls, and he did like Anaya, and that she talked him out of it, but that he was attracted to her. We in the upside down, child. This season is the opposite of everything I expected when it comes to how I usually talk about the show, but it also gives me opportunity to show that we're going to admit right is right and wrong is wrong, even if it's coming from an unfamiliar place.
I think I'm saying her name right. She's the Persian girl, Amora, and probably the blonde. Bryce should be terrified because based off what we saw Trinity alone when she was watching him and all the other guys, that girl looked like she wanted to walk over there and explode and swing on him.
Now, I will say this, though. Trinity confirmed last night why she and Kata are the only girls from the Mean Girl clique that I really fuck with individually when they're away from the clique. Because no matter how much the girls were seeing things that were devastating, Trinity's like me. She's like, look, they picked a girl who's a dupe of me, chocolate, wavy hair. She a bad bitch, though. I can't hate it. Bitch look good. I love that, Trinity. That's the kind of girl I'm looking for. I love that even if something happens that you don't like, you can still give a bitch her credit. Also, Trinity was the one who was the nicest to her, to Soul out of all the OG girls. Trinity, I adore you on your own. Click shit aside. On your own, you're a fucking star. You're funny. You're amazing. You're not a hater. You're fucking gorgeous. That's why I'm hoping that the same openness that Trinity had while watching the girls on video is going to transfer when new girls get voted in, because it's clear that some of these men are going to pick new girls. When the new girls come in, I hope that same Trinity that was nice to Soul when all the other girls were being isolating her and making her crazy. By the way, for those who say, well, isolation is not bullying. Yes, it is. When you're in prison, what is the worst thing that can happen to you in prison as a way to punish you psychologically and damage you as a person? They put you in isolation. So if prison systems and terrorists all over the world recognize that isolation is a form of torture, what the fuck you mean Soul wasn't bullied? If you go to Rikers right now and you're already in jail and they want to make you worse, they put you in isolation. It is literally a psychological torture tactic. But you know better, though, from your couch. You know better. Okay.
Guerra and Parmida, they're going to be trouble. Those two specifically. When Parmida walked out, I said, whoa!
Parmida's a fine bitch.
Tierra walked out, I said, my God! Yeah. Yeah.
I'm warming up to Trinity because I'm getting to see more of her without the Mean Girl clique. You guys know I'm fair. I'm blunt, but I'm fair. I'm blunt, but I'm fair. When someone shows me something better, I actually show them the grace of, congratulations, you showed me better. That's why when Melanie showed me better, I stopped critiquing her, right? I'm actually really proud of Melanie. I'm not a fan of hers because the Mean Girl clique actually happened in her honor, but I still will give her credit for improving. But shout out to Casey being emancipated, because I think we can all agree, even people who like Anaya, that Casey and Anaya as a collective needs to end immediately.
That black king said one thing about me. I love a black woman. I love a black queen. I love darker skinned black women.
Casey
and
loves
production
chocolate.
had a high yellow bitch in that villa the next day. And he said, I might bend. I might bend for soul. I won't fold for soul because I have soul. And it said, you have passed the test. You have passed the test, my black brother.
I do agree that Soul was there as catnip for KC, and now that he's shown that he really does love chocolate women, he's drowning in a sea of chocolate cheeks, and I'm not mad at it for him.
And they brought in every chocolate baddie they could find. They said, chocolate baddie galore. They said, you have passed the test. You have passed the test. The ancestors said, you passed the test. Now, you will reap the benefits.
Why is the music getting louder, Mecca?
You will reap the rewards for being patient, King Casey. That nigga was overly going. He was happy as fuck. Anaya, baby, you better get busy in that villa, child.
Production may have finally solved.
By the way, for those who are, we're about to wrap up in about 15 minutes because I have to pivot to Carlos's show in a second. For those, and by the way, I love the new folks who are coming in here and who are learning a more objective and intellectually sound way to look at the show and not falling for the groupthink and propaganda of the other social media platforms. So welcome to the new folks. I'm stern, but I'm fair, so welcome, right? For those who have been saying that they are upset because it's unfair, that in the words of Melanie, we gotta go make grilled cheeses because we got dressed up for nothing, right? The episode ended with the girls going to make grilled cheese sandwiches because they got dressed up to bounce cheeks for no reason. There was no cheeks to bounce. I actually immediately understood why production did it, and I immediately agreed. And let me explain why. And here's the thing, not only did I agree, shout out to the new members. You guys, I have a special surprise for the members on Saturday. We're going to be starting members watch parties of After Sun on Saturdays. And we're going to have Mike Goyo, my Haitian cousin, join me on Saturday for the after show. And I'm going to see if Monique can join us as well. So we're going to start doing watch parties. When I was at Google today, they told me, no, Trevor Noah does watch parties without having it on the screen, and it still does well. Try out watch parties. So guys, I've been given the green light. We're going to do a watch party on Saturday in the members only area where we're going to watch After Sun together, get your snacks, and you're going to be getting live commentary from me and Mike and maybe Mo about the show. So I'm excited. I love when we do new shit. But anyways, and shout out to Christina Danielle 7303 for being a member. You're going to have fun. You're the reason why I remembered to say that. What's interesting is, as someone who had a production company, for those who are new here, Bluecentric was my production company name. This is my production company's YouTube, that when I shut down my business, I took it over as an individual. So for those who are like, why are you, your name is Blue to Looseman, why does it say Bluecentric? Bluecentric was my production company. And when I used to be in production, one of the things that I always had to deal with was what happens when the actors get into a rut. In reality TV, the ruts look different, but one of the ruts that has historically been a problem in all the franchises, because y'all know I don't just watch Love Island in America, I watched it in the UK, I've watched it in Canada, I've watched it in Australia, I watched it across the country. I've even tried to watch the one in France, but I couldn't read the subtitles, y'all, make my eyes hurt. But one of the things that has been an issue historically in all the franchises is every Casa Amor, the boys want to explore, the girls want to get married. Right? The girls want to get married while the boys want to explore. And every year it ruins it because the girls are crying while the boys are tweaking. And then it's high drama, right? This year, the minute I saw what the producers did, I said, they finally solved the Casa Amor problem. That's not unfair. Men and women on the show up differently. The issue was, if we have two people who show up differently, one who shows up well for the project, one who shuts down, you can't treat them the same anymore. What works for the men does not work for the women. So they thought to themselves, hey, if we show the women in real time what the men are doing before new men show up, they'll finally play the game properly. That's not unfair. That's brilliant. That's not unfair. That's course correction. The men don't need much to get up here. The women need a lot to get up there. So they gave the women more incentive. That is brilliant. That is absolutely fucking brilliant. So for everybody who's like, oh, it's unfair. No, it's not. I'm going to be honest. The producers, for the first time ever, they're not the villain to me. They're not the villain. Their leader passed away. Their leader died in the middle of the season. They took their week to mourn. It was a horrible week of television. I'm not even going to hold you. And now they're back making up for it. I'm open to it. My heart is open to it.
The Casa Amor problem, and here's why. I'm reading the book Enter the Villa, which is a deep dive into the behind the scenes of love.
By the way, as an academic, you know that once I had that theory, I had to go vet it and find out if anybody else had that theory. And I found this book. And so when I heard about the book, I said, well, I don't have time to read the book by tomorrow, child. Has anybody else read this book? Apparently this young lady has. Look at God, right? So she's going to give us the cliff notes of the book about the Love Island franchise. And funny enough, that book confirms my theory that the producers had to do this. They had to.
Love Island. And there's a quote in it from the USA showrunner Ben Thursby Palmer that I think really says it all. He says, the original girls are never happy with the Casa boys around the world. We're trying to structure
around the world. So this is not just an American thing. This is all the Love Island franchises.
Casa, so it doesn't end up being like the OG girls sit on their hands and the OG boys treat it like a bachelor party. That's the effing scenario we try and work against every year. But the structure they devised for season 8 may help them get away from this outcome because it primes the women to actually want to participate in Casa. It's not just another part of the show they have to slog through to get to the end. It's a part that actually feels appealing, something they may now feel more motivated to fully enjoy. Because they're not going into a villa full of new guys thinking about the cuddles or the french fries that they shared with their original guy the previous night. The last image they have in their head of their couple before they meet all the new bombshells is seeing him in a compromising and uninhibited moment.
Do y'all understand how brilliant that is? Rather than poor Melanie thinking about Sincere's kisses and lies, she's thinking about Sincere slapping cheeks. That's not unfair. That's empowering. The women are finally empowered to be thinking about the real men that exist in the present rather than the version of the men that they made up in their minds. There's nothing unfair about that. Doing this actually is helping the girls. I might actually start liking them again because y'all know all you got to do to get me to like you is to act right. Yes, chef's fucking kiss. Chef's kiss, right? So this is not unfair. This is actually an alley-oop to the girls because we're going to show you how full of shit these niggas are first. Then we're going to give you twice as many men. So the men only got 6 girls. The girls are getting 12 men. What is unfair? You're telling me the truth and then you're giving me more options. If anybody should be calling it unfair, it should be the men. The women are finally being set up to win. Here's the thing. If we show you the truth and we give you 12 men and you're still an asshole, then I give up, child. At that point, you just want to be a loser. The production is giving the women a chance to redeem themselves. If they still suck after this, I give it up to God.
I saw it. It really gave the women the ick in a deep way because they're not just imagining these guys' heads turning. They're seeing it. And it gives them the full embodiment of that idea of if he wanted to, he would. Because it's like, well, if he wanted to be with me this much, then he wouldn't be doing that. And it reveals the way that the men act with each other when they don't think anyone else is watching. Like they know they're being filmed, but they can explain that away later. They don't know that they're actively being surveilled in the moment by the women. And it's all going down in real time. Like even in the past, there have been clips that the women have seen, but they might not be the full context. And it at least appears to us that they were shown the entirety of the challenge. And now you have a cast full of girls who are so turned off by their OG guy that they're finally ready to go wild in Casa the same way the guys are. They just needed an emotional nudge to get there. Additionally, bringing in double the amount of bombshells further tips the scales in the favor of the women because they know the guys only got 6. So they'll feel like they have more options and hopefully they're all feeling more desirable. And I hope the bombshells are a group of seriously great guys who are also desirable across the board. It's such a smart decision and I cannot wait to see how this plays out, especially because I don't know how the boys don't realize that this is probably too good to be true.
The boys are so excited that they're not realizing this has to be a setup. I will say this. I think this episode of Bluecentric Live more than ever has illustrated why this space is important. I'm not just saying because it's my space. You see how a lot of people walked in with frustrations, misdirected anger, bad frameworks. A little bit of education is all you need to see things clearly. There are people who walked into this live convinced that last night was unfair to the girls and it's fucked up and X, Y, and Z. And all you needed was a little bit of education and framework to pan out and recognize it's actually a blessing. I think the issue with Love Island is, and the reason why me as an emotional intelligence coach, I use this show as a platform is it shows you how bad advice versus good advice makes all the difference. There are people in this world who have blocked blessings just because they had the wrong framework, the wrong ecosystem, and the wrong advice, and nobody holding them accountable. Imagine someone walking around thinking, oh, this is fucked up. Poor Melanie, they trying to fuck up. Meanwhile, I'm saying no, they're actually trying to do Melanie a solid by telling her the truth and telling her to have other options. Let that be a lesson for real life. Sometimes when you think God is playing in your face by rejecting you or taking away something that you want, God is setting you up for something better. Surprisingly, in this analogy, the God is the Love Island producers. Never thought I would be making that correlation. But let's continue before I have to go.
It's Microaggression Island, and we are so back. I'm just gonna call it like I see it. I would expect this behavior from Kenzie, and I did receive it, but we have 2 new people to add to the list. Alongside Kenzie's implicit racial bias, especially in the last 2 episodes where she said Gabrielle.
The way that Kenzie, her MAGA is coming out more and more every episode is killing me.
Is lustful, but not her when they're all doing the same thing. And then her blatant black scent whenever she talks to Corbin. Now we have Zach's comment about Kata being aggressive, and she simply asked for direct communication. Perhaps the word that you're looking for, Zach, is assertive. And then trying to chalk this up to being an East Coast directness, she's trying to squash.
The fact that Zach called Kata aggressive, and they were like, well, she's from the East Coast. And he's like, well, I clearly have never been to New Hampshire. New Hampshire ain't got nothing to do with you being a lying ass. What is it? That man called him an evil bisexual. It was a bisexual man who said it. Not homophobic. But like, her being from New Hampshire ain't got nothing to do with you being an asshole. Like, Casa came at the perfect time because the men and the women, their clickiness and their toxic relationships, it was getting to a place where we were about to see 5 toxic couples thugging it out and nobody wanting to vote because we all hate them. So the fact that the girls have been saved from the men and from themselves just in the last 24 hours, we're coming back later this. We're not coming back on Wednesday because I gotta go to some BET weekend events. You know how you doing? I live in LA, y'all, so it's BET week. So we're not coming back on Wednesday. But if we come back on Thursday, I want to have a conversation about what I've seen because I'm praying the hopefulness that I feel based on last night's episode is not ruined by tonight's episode. Oh, girls, please don't fail me now. I'm actually rooting for you for the first time this season.
An issue with you and give you some affirmations, if you just want to be avoidant. I'm happy that on top of the negging and gaslighting that we can add microaggressions to the list too. And finally, Alana, yes, I saw that. It passed the 3 black men just doing little shit.
Casa usually happens on day 19. It happened this year on day 18. It was only 1 day early, so this is very normal.
Shakes, no touch. Let me make this clear. She is entitled to not let any of them touch her or kiss them. To only kiss the White Islanders. I see you. And that visible look of disgust after Casey kissed her. I saw that.
Oh, it wasn't Corbin, it was KC. Yeah, I just remember she was disgusted when a black man kissed her, and I was like, ooh. Disgust? Though you could have just skipped him. I hope if they got rid of one of the girls for saying the N-word, I hope it's the girl with the angel wings. Because my spidey sense are telling me that she is not it. Timu, Selena Gomez ain't it.
Everyone just needs to work on themselves and maybe not display so many microaggressions in one episode. It's Microaggression Island.
I'm integrating with everybody. I do think like it being a bombshell.
Oh, I wanted to end with Bea and Soul, and they have now joined forces because Soul says that Bea and Trinity were the only ones who were kind to her. Trinity's still in the house. Bea is out. And Soul's like, me and Bea talked, and we both agree on what we saw. So for all of you, couch commentarians who are saying you disagree, bitch, do you disagree with the people who were there? They were there. They were there. You're watching an edit. They were there.
Is difficult as fuck. I'm so glad I didn't have to be a bombshell. Like, if anybody could bombshell, she bombshelled. She bombshelled. And that girl, yeah, she's in a different category. She's in a different category.
He said like Hiroshima.
America's what backfired? What are you telling me?
I can say I got pied way more.
So I'm going to end with Soul speaking on her behalf since y'all want to get it so fucking wrong and be so willfully ignorant. I'm going to let Soul speak on her own behalf and say from outside the villa what I was saying a week ago while she was still in the villa. You're speaking from assumption. It's not an assumption when the person said it and confirmed it. That's not what that word means. Look it up. It's not an assumption.
Than what they shown. I'll say that. I did my best, and I feel like I'm just glad that people could actually like see what was kind of going on, even though like so much was cut out. And
she's talking about the bullying that y'all claim didn't happen. She's happy that we could see that she was being bullied. Oh, where are the people who told me that I was wrong? Soul is happy that people like me could see that what was happening, that she was being isolated.
It out, so like I'm not upset at all. I'm like surprised. I'm honestly surprised they even picked me. Like thousands of people will play. Yeah, I forgive like Sincere. I just don't like fuck with him as a person. Forgiveness doesn't mean like reaccess, and that's the tea.
Not true, baby. She was not being bullied by the men and not the women. What was happening is that the women were being mean to her and the men didn't want to piss off the women. KC wouldn't talk to her because Anaya kept pulling her away. That's not true. That's factually inaccurate. Factually inaccurate. You're working really hard not to hold women accountable. If that's how you are in real life, I worry for your friends. That's factually inaccurate. They even said it on camera. The girls don't like her, so we have to leave her alone so the girls don't get mad at us. The men were being weak. The women were being bullies. I hope that helps.
They also didn't know what time they were waking up because they didn't have their phone or any sense of time as well.
Yeah, no one like tells you anything. Me and Beatrice had an hour-long conversation about everyone in that goddamn villa, and y'all gonna hate us. I mean, y'all probably gonna love us on the reunion because I feel like we the only real bitches in that, like, to actually speak our mind and say something. So,
Someone said, "How long were you in the hotel for?" Can you say that? Hold on.
yeah, I mean,
Can you?
I think so.
No, don't answer that.
Shit, like I'm ready. Like bring it on.
For anybody who's saying since she's talking to the girls that weren't bullied, I'm not debating with anybody whose logic is that stupid and that simple and that immature. Respectfully, at this stage of my life, anybody who thinks like that is not somebody who I need to be debating with.
I want to see some fine.
Mind you, this is Soul watching Casa Amor rooting for Trinity and the girls that she liked. The same Soul who y'all saying are this evil light-skinned girl who was making things up. She's still rooting for Trinity from outside the house.
Shit in this villa right now. Man,
It's almost like she was a sweet girl who was robbed of her opportunity to have the full experience by girls who were having the full experience. For anybody who's still working to be willfully ignorant, even though we could not have any, this is literally her laughing at Anaya and Melanie and clapping for them. This is the evil bitch. I want y'all to see her. This is the evil girl that y'all want to be a villain so bad. Still rooting for the girls. This is not feminism, guys. And this is not what it means to be a girl's girl. And if it is what it means to be a girl's girl, in the words of Melanie, count me the fuck out. A girl's girl doesn't mean that you don't hold other women accountable when they cause unnecessary harm to an innocent person whose biggest sin is having big titties and a pixie cut. Are you fucking kidding? We don't do that here. And again, Melanie's doing better. I applaud her. Trinity's always been a bad bitch. I applaud her. Anaya is still draining and horrible and not fun to watch. Kenzie is still racist and problematic and fetishizes black dick. So there's individual great girls. As a collective, they still suck. I hope tonight that changes. I'll be fair either way. Thank you for watching Bluecentric Live. Please like and hype because Google. My Google rep told me to tell y'all start hyping and liking the videos because hyping it is how new people find us. So like and hype the video. The comment for the recap for those who are watching on the replay. The comment for the recap is accountability. Accountability is an act of love. I'm holding Melanie accountable as an act of love. I'm holding Anaya accountable as an act of love. I'm even holding Sincere accountable as an act of love. Anybody who's ever had a good matriarch, a good mother, a good auntie, a good big sister, a teacher who cared can recognize this. This is not hate. This is not me being nasty or mean. Y'all like to call shit mean just because your feelings are hurt, right? Fragile things break. Fragile things break. Doesn't mean anybody broke them, right? This accountability is an act of love. And if you want to hear where I heard that from, James Baldwin, Google him. I learned from the school of James Baldwin. And because I love to see Black and brown people, I love to see young folks following their dreams. I can't sit by and watch them take part in propaganda and groupthink and all this mean shit without saying my piece. And again, to the commentarians who used last week as an excuse to pounce on this girl. If you go to Soul's page, there's a video of her from a couple of months ago sobbing into the camera saying, it's been 2 years since my dad died and I feel like no one's here to hold me. You're looking at Soul the bad bitch. I'm looking at a Black woman who's lost the most important man in her life, who went on the show to find a little bit of joy, and y'all are determined to rob her of it, and respectfully, not on my watch. All right? I hope you love the show. For anybody who wants to continue, I'm going to head over to Carlos King's channel to do a recap of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I adore y'all. I will see y'all. Oh, and tomorrow, Sydney, who, if you haven't watched that video, please go on the page and watch the video about the young lady who's making $50,000 a month and proposed to her, her boyfriend, married him, bought him a house, gave him 2 babies, and he still left her. Her parents sent her the video of me talking about her. She just texted me while I was heading home from Google and said, Blue, am I still on tomorrow? I said, yes, sis. I'm busy, but I'm going to send you the link. So tomorrow, Sydney is coming on. You see how we hold people accountable? Last week, we were talking about Sydney, and this week, Sydney's coming on to respond to us. We're fair. We're fair. Blunt but fair. So tomorrow, join us. Sydney's going to be in the studio to tell us what the fuck she was thinking proposing to a man. More on that. All right, I got to go. Bye, family. Love y'all.